Hello, so welcome to a short Schubert tutorial about the second impromptu, the second Klavierstück, D946. It's in E flat major, which is Schumann's most beloved key, actually, as it happens. But anyway, this is Schubert, of course, Schubert. Now, they both wrote incredibly beautiful music, such as the 14th and 15th. David's Bundler Tanzas, and this piece, for example, although most of Schubert is conspicuously beautiful, he had a real gift for the lyrical melodic flow line, which is really his hallmark, I think. Okay, and whereas with Schumann it's not only that, that's more Eusebius, whereas Florestan is more boom 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 ta 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 ta, and then you have Eusebius as the beautiful flowing. But in Schubert it's mainly, I would say, it's the beautiful flowing line. But of course, Schubert is also renowned for his, I think Alfred Brendel described it as the greatest description of chaos in music, or something like that, as opposed to Beethoven, who makes order out of chaos, something like that. Yeah, but Schubert is unbridled chaos, or something like this. It's quite a good description. He's not my favourite interpreter, but he was the first interpreter of Schubert that I heard, and it really got me into classical music with that sonata number 19 rather, in C minor, which I like very much. I think that's like the first piece of classical music that really hit home. So I have Brendel to thank for that. But in terms of Schubert, I would probably go for Schumann. I would say Gieseking, or Walter Gieseking for Schumann, with his very nuanced pedal work and so forth, and also Rachmaninoff, of course, is maybe the greatest interpreter as well of Schumann, and he always there's a big connection between Rachmaninoff and Schumann. I think he was his favourite composer. I'm not sure about that. I think his favourite piece anyway was Grieg's piano concerto in A minor. But I think Schumann was one of his. I remember Rachmaninoff saying about his fourth piano concerto that he hadn't realised that the slow movement was just like the slow movement of Schumann's piano concerto in A minor. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. I think that Rachmaninoff liked to joke a little bit, in my opinion, when he said things. I also don't believe necessarily that he didn't know that Schubert wrote sonatas. I'm not sure if that could possibly be true, but he said that as well. But he often liked to joke around a bit, did Rachmaninoff. And anyway, I was talking about Schumann's, Rachmaninoff he said that he didn't realise that the slow movement of his fourth piano concerto was had similarities with the Schumann concerto. It sounds a bit like Three Blind Mice. But that sounds a bit like the slow movements of those two concerti. Now, back to Schubert, because what I'll talk about is the kind of yearning which you find in this second Klavierstück, and I'll sort of play this in the B section. So there's A, B, and C sections in this Klavierstück. If you edit the episodes, so I'll just show it first. It'll be so it's yeah, it'll be this bit here. with this bit here. So I think measure 130, 131, 132, 133. Yeah. Anyway, I'll play it. This is the bit that I mean. The yearning of Schubert. So what he was yearning for, you can read the biography of Schubert, of course, and make your own guess. This bit here, anyway. I'll just play from the beginning of that. Let me do it again, it's alright. Yeah. Just do it again. Yeah. So that's has that plaintive, yearning aspect of Schubert. So now I'll play the whole piece, and you can see the different sections. And the A section, which is well, first of all, there's the main theme, and then that which repeats 3 times. And then there's the tempestuous A section. Then there is the lyric B section. Sorry, that's the B section I meant, not, yeah. I think I said C section, that's the lyric B section. And then there's the C section, which for me represents Schubert's ceremonial. Here's a description of some kind of, I heard it was, Schubert's been described as having epic lyricism. So the B and the C movements combine that epic, the lyricism of the B movement and the epic nature of the C section. So here they are, anyway. Yeah, so that's again mucked it up again. That C section is actually quite difficult. It's much more difficult than I thought it was. And the B section has difficulty as well. It's quite a difficult piece, but it's not too... I think it's the easiest of his late pieces, in my opinion. But it's got some tricky bits. Anyway, that for me is shows the yearning aspect of Schubert. Yeah, so what else? Interestingly, talking about the height of the composers, if you look up on Google, the height of Beethoven, we always think of Schubert as being the perennially short composer, but actually Beethoven was not much taller. It's very interesting. It was only a few inches taller. So I think Schubert was really quite short, 5 foot. I think like 5 foot 3 or 4, I think. And Beethoven was only maybe 5'5" or 6, I think. So I may have got that wrong, but they're quite close in height and both quite short, and which is not really what you think of when you think of Beethoven. So that's an interesting fact with which to end this video. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you it's interesting actually. You can see in that piece this just want to show this bit of this clavista, this bit here. So these two notes together, you can see it's a lot in Schumann's work. It produces a dissonance, sort of. Yeah, just a dissonance there. And you get a lot in Schumann's work, and as I think I showed in an earlier video, we have it in Beethoven as well. I'll show that as well. Okay, but I think they're the exact same notes as Schubert uses, actually, aren't they? But down an octave, so that's the A flat and the B flat together. We see it in Schumann's work as well. For example, it's in, I think, the 13th or maybe the 11th. I think it's the I can't remember. Anyway, it's in the 14th Davidsbündler tones, and it might be the 11th measure. I'm not sure. Where you can see the two notes together in that same beautiful but dissonant relation. So there's a link between those three composers. I'm not sure how tall Schumann was, but that's one for you to find out yourselves. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time on Classical